Hello viewers and welcome back to my radio repair channel. Today we have a tape deck, a cassette player if you wish, and it's a Dux EK3511 DUX. Now that's also coming from Philips. The original one is the Philips N2511. It's also been branded RS and Aristona, as far as I know, of course. Production started in 1976, so it's an oldie, but a goodie, I hope. What's wrong with this? Well, actually not much. It is playing, but I think the belts need replacing. I think that they become stretchy, or what you call it, yeah. So you notice that if you start it up, it starts like and it comes up to speed. So I'll switch it on and we have a listen to it for a few seconds. See how that goes. I rigged it all up temporary. As you can see, most of my stuff is already packed up for my immigration, of course. It's been a lot of work, I'm telling you. This is an old house. It's big. I live here for more than 27 years. I'm not exactly the kind of guy who likes to throw things away or anything that's still good or useful, or maybe I use it one day, you know. I'll keep everything. So, and I'm still not finished, but let's have a listen to it. I don't know if it was loud enough, so let's try that again. So there you have it. It is working, but like I said, I think it's the belts that are and that need replacing. Well, I bought a new set. You can still buy those. So let's see if we can get them replaced. I've never worked on one of these before. I have worked on tape recorders before, but not like this. So I'll try to take it apart and see what we come across. So, well, it looks pretty straightforward. I hope it is. A few flathead screws. Let's see if that is enough to take it up. Maybe you don't even need to take all of them out. Maybe some of them are holding something else in place. I don't know, to tell you the truth. Let me see. Yeah, let's try to get the top off first then. See how that goes. Well, this is the top removed. It was only been held with two little screws, so I removed them and the top comes off. But I still don't see much. Well, I see a lot actually, but I don't see any belts, so therefore I think I have to take the bottom part off. So it looks like it. Alright, well, let's do that. Well, bottom panel came off just as easy. It's indeed just a few screws to remove, and then you carefully pry this off. It's pretty tight around the bottom half of the plastic, but you pry it off carefully, just with your fingers, and that'll do it. Alright, well, here we go. Here you can see the belts already. If you just look at this one, now if you can make this visible, look, this is pretty sloppy, and that's what happens with older belts. If they don't break, they get yeah, well, a little bit too elastic, you would call it. So let me compare it with what we have here. See, I bought this as the Philips replacement set N2511, which is the original Philips version of the same machine. Yeah. Alright, let's see what we have here. Yeah, and this must be the longer one that's in there. The only thing is, and that was most of them have, is this what you call this wheel. You always have to get the top off the top off to be able to replace the belt. So I can take it off this like now, and then you see it's like trapped, and I have to see how I take this off without destroying anything. It shouldn't be too hard. I think, yeah, I need to get the circuit board out of the way first, because that's what it looks like. So let's do that. So these little magnetic dishes are very handy, I have to say. So it's still attached somehow. Strange. I don't want to destroy anything, put too much force on it, but there we go. Also some glue. They use that these prints have, like, it looks like double-sided tape on it, and that's where they put the parts on first before they put them into solder bath, I think. I've seen that before on Philips stuff. Yeah, and here this nut we have to get off. That's also the adjustment of the tension of this wheel. Well, there's lots of play on it, so that's we don't have to worry too much about that. We have to get this nut off, so hang on. So I'm almost undone. Is that a good word? the nut that holds this bracket in place. So we get it off. It's a little spring washer type thing. We take that off, and then the bracket comes off, if that's what you Alright, well, looks like it's pretty straightforward. Let's hope it stays that way during the rest of the process, so to speak. So one belt comes off, and let me compare it with the new one. Well, there's a difference, so to speak. So yeah, they did need replacing. Yeah, maybe it's still the original one, so I haven't seen any traces of somebody else already opening it once. So it could be the first set of belts that's in there. Wouldn't surprise me, by the way. Because usually that first set of belts that's on there is pretty good. In most cases. Not always, of course. Alright, there's a tiny one. I think that's for the counting mechanism. Let's take this one off. Alright. Put this one on. See if I can remember how they are supposed to go on. Alright. So, I hope you guys can see something, because, well, I have to bend over it so to be able to see something myself as well. So. Right, well, let me fiddle with it a little bit. It's this pulley that is mounted on a bracket, and that is well, spring loaded, so to speak. It pushes up against the bottom of this this bigger wheel, this one, and therefore you would have to pull that whole bracket forward to create some space to get the belt on. So that's what I did. That's okay, that's replaced. Now a thinner one, I think that's for the counter. And there is a little light on the top that shows that that it's playing. Actually, I will show you that later when we get it back to work again. All right. Now, I've put this one on. So. All right. Then it goes over this one to the little motor. That's quite some tension on the new one. Wow, I didn't expect that. Maybe it's too, oh wait. Yeah, that's how it is supposed to go. And it's still twisted, so I have to twist it straight. Well, there we go. Yeah, the belt is on there now. Correctly, I hope. You put the nut back on that bracket that holds this pulley in place. Yeah, it's not bad for a first time. Put the nut back on. I don't have the proper tool for it anymore. But of course I have a little. But I already packed that. It's already in the boxes. So I'm not going to search for it, there's so much stuff. So I use this little plier for it. It's not ideal, but it'll work. Oh. Let me see, try to get spinning on there just as much as it was before I took it apart. Let me see. Yeah. I don't know why this end is spring loaded. I mean, if you see the amount of plate that was on there already, I mean, it's, I don't know. Well, I have to watch the video back myself to see how many threads more or less there were on there. I think it's a bit more than just this, but I'm not sure. So, well, I have to see myself. I can't exactly remember how many turns it was on there, so I have to watch the video. Well, alright, that wasn't too far off. It seems to be okay. Good. We can put the circuit board back in place. We'll put the little screws back in. And it's actually time to assemble it again. That was pretty straightforward. Oh. Don't praise the day until it's evening, is that what they say? We will see. Alright, well, let me put it back together and then we go from there. So, I was putting it back together and test ran it for the first time. I didn't put all the screws in, of course, I just put the bottom panel on and just test it. And did all sorts of stuff that you don't want it to do. So, for example, it was always on. So the motor was always spinning. And one of the spindles of the tape was always spinning, was always got driven, which is not normal, of course. Then what's going on? It is switched off, the mechanism should be off, but still one of the spindles is spinning. It didn't make no sense to me. I think, did I put it back together wrong or so? So I checked it. I actually viewed my own video back to see what it was like before I took it apart. See how handy that can be sometimes. But still, no, look, I have put it back together properly, and still it does something stupid, something that you don't want. And if you would press play, then it wouldn't play. Okay, so I took all the belts off and checked them again. Now there's this one here. This is the new one. That is a size too small. Just pulling a little bit too hard on the pulleys. And then there are little springs in there that should counter that, you know, the tension. So if it's switched off, it should be just pulling one pulley away from the from the drive mechanism, and it doesn't do that because this is too tight. So the one pulley is always pulled up against the drive mechanism. So if that makes any sense to you. So it didn't matter what position your push buttons are in. It would always drive the spindle, and that's because of this. So I don't know what the seller was thinking. I don't think he tested these himself in one of the Philips cassette players, but it is this one. So see if you can get it a little closer here. see, I can show you that. It's this one here, this belt. It's a short belt and it's quite a bit thicker than the other ones. That's the one in the replacement bag that is too small diameter. So I went through my stash of belts and found a better replacement, which was one was only a little bit shorter than the original one and not as much as this one is. So be careful if you buy belt sets nowadays. You can see that there can be a wrong belt in there. They probably didn't have the correct size. And it's like, oh well, let's take a smaller one, it'll always work. Normally maybe it would, but not in this case. The little springs in here are supposed to overcome in a certain position of the mechanism to overcome the tension of the belt. Here, those springs. And if they can't do that, well then you get all sorts of crazy stuff. Right, good. What am I going to do now? Now I'm going to put it back together and then we will test it. So here it is, it's been put back together. I know it plays well because I already tested it, of course, but yeah, let's give it a try again. Well, the quality of the tape, of course, is not that great, but it doesn't do that anymore, you know, if it starts up. Alright, good, well, it's a success, I guess. Oh yeah, there is one other thing I want to show you. I will turn the volume down so we don't get into trouble with the YouTube copyright and all this kind of stuff. There's a little light on the top right next to the counting tape counter, and that shows you that the tape is actually spinning. I think you could also hear that when it's on, of course, but it's a little feature that Philips built in. It's just a little plastic disc with a hole inside, and there is a little, just a simple light behind it. And then when it spins, you know, the light only comes through every so often, and that looks like it's actually flowing. So there are 3 little gaps here in the top, and you can see the light going. It's just, you know, pretty, I think, I don't know. See if I can make that visual, hang on. So here it is, here is that little light. The 3 slots I told you about. Now if you spin it up, you see? Just a little plastic disc with a light behind it. Well, that was it. It's turned out to be a little less straightforward than I thought it would be. But that had to do with the fact that new belts, or at least one of them, was just one size too small for the application, so to speak. Alright, that can happen too sometimes. Of course, that is not an original belt set coming from Philips. It's of course somebody who is also, I assume, a hobbyist, and I mean, belts are still made, of course, but not specific one set for that specific tape deck. So we got all different sizes of belts and made a set, of course, for that tape deck. But either he didn't have the right ones or he fucked up, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we're towards the end of the video, of course, and what happens is always the beer tasting. Today I have Cordaat. This is a Lidl supermarket budget beer, and it's really budget beer. Now these are small bottles, 30 centiliters, so that's not really that big, but this cost 28 cents for the beer. Of course I have to pay for the bottle, but I get my money back when I bring the bottle back. 28 cents, try that. And it's rather nice beer, I had it before. So let's pour it in my trusty glass again. Did I take one with me? You know what, I can't even remember. I mean, there's so much stuff I already took with me to Bogor that I really can't remember. Well, people, proost. Oh, that's nice, especially on a hot day like this. What do we have? almost 27 centigrade. Yeah, 27 Celsius, yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, well, you know, normally I always keep it short, and I'm like, thank you very much for watching and see you next time. In this case, well, it's I've done a lot of work. Maybe you can see, probably not, but there's so much stuff in this house. It's unbelievable. Already a few months I'm taking stuff out, and there's a lot of it that's been in the attic for as long as I live here. Well, they actually don't need it anymore, do you? So I got rid of a lot of it went to the tip, as the English call it. A lot of it I was able to give it away. Some people actually do want to have it. So that's always nice, of course. I hate throwing stuff away which is still good and usable. So I can do somebody else a favor with it, well, that's even better. I'm still not finished, but in the meantime my house is sold. Yeah, it took a while for somebody to come around and have a view, but finally somebody turned up, and well, it was I guess it was exactly what he was looking for, and that's of course the kind of buyers you need. And then you only need one viewer, that's enough if it's the right one, you know. So this morning we have been to the real estate agent to sign some documents, and now it's waiting for the notary to make all the documents official and legal. And that's also the day that I will actually really have to get out of this house. That's when you have to give the key to the new owner. So till then, it's 1st of November is the plan. Until then, I really have to get rid of most of my stuff, and a moving company is coming, the International Movers. They will take a lot of my stuff in a container and take it to Indonesia, as planned, of course, but there'll still be a lot of stuff left over which I'm not going to take with me. First of all, the house I have over there is already furnished. I bought that, I think, more than 14 years ago already, so there is already furniture in there. Furniture I have here is good. I mean, it's all oak. I bought that 40 years ago or so. But well, like I said, it's 40 years old now, and it's still good. But I'm not going to take that stuff with me. If you see what it cost to ship it, well, there's just no point. And besides that, like I said, that house is already furnished, so it's not going to happen. And I didn't speak directly to the new owners, so to speak, or the buyers. They're not the owners yet. The buyers, to see if they might be interested in any of my furniture, and I haven't heard it officially, so to speak, but it seems that they do. It's a young couple that used to rent a place. They can't extend the rent anymore. They have to get out, and it seems that they really don't have much on furniture or anything like that. They also come not from the Netherlands, they're from Romania, and well, they might be interested in my stuff. That would be awesome, of course, because then it works both ways. At least there you have something to sit on, so to speak. They will have some furniture in the house instead of nothing, and I don't have to get rid of it. So we'll see how that turns out. Alright, this might be the last video I'm making here in the Netherlands. Although it's not November yet, I know that most of my stuff is already packed up, and the end of September it's gonna get collected by the International Moving Company, and I just won't have access to most of my tools. Of course, I will have a small toolkit here, which I can put in my suitcase and take with me on the last day, so to speak. You always need a few screwdrivers and a plier and an avometer. A multimeter, so to speak. I couldn't live without it. So, but it's not that you're gonna do a lot of major repairs with it or anything like that. So, all right, well, that's it. I keep you guys posted. As soon as there's any more news, or if there's something that needs to get fixed. I don't know when that is going to be, but you'll find out soon enough. All right. Let me take another sip of this beer. Oh man. Well, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you next time.